And welcome back to Life and Style Relationship Wednesday. We're on the segment Ask Pastor Chris, and we have come out, as we've been doing the last few weeks since the beginning of this year, we've come out to a college. We're at Riara University, it's somewhere along Bagathi Road. Hi, everybody. How you doing? And today my panel from Riara University is going to be asking the questions, and I will answer those questions, hoping that they will be representative of your questions back at home. Remember, you want to engage with us, write us if you want to invite us to your college, your school, to your community, to your church group, youth group, whatever group that you have of young people you want us to come and shoot Ask Pastor Chris with you. Write us mail on life and style at standardmedia.co.ke. Life and style, not the words, use the you use the symbol of and, life and style at standardmedia.co.ke. Follow us on the social media platforms again at KTN Life _style. That is for both Twitter and Instagram, and KTN Life and Style for Facebook. 22840 is our text message number. Keep the conversations going. Keep tweeting. KTN Life and Style is the hashtag. Now, I want to get to hear from somebody what Riara University is all about before I get to the place where they ask the questions. And there's a gentleman who shares a name with me. He's called Chris. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm fine, thanks.
Tell us a little bit about Riara University.
Riara University, it's a place that nurtures innovators. It's a place that builds up not only your education, but also your entrepreneurial skills. So it's a place that always supports students' initiatives, and it just helps you get a foot in life once you get out of campus.
All right. What are you studying yourself?
I'm studying international relations and diplomacy.
Okay. Is there anything else again that stands out, or makes you stand out apart from other colleges?
I'd say basically the setting of the university. It's a much more calming university than others. It has very conducive atmospheres for learning. High-tech places like the studio and its lecture halls. So I'd say it's a place that really makes you feel at home. It's a home away from home.
And I realize while coming over here, it's a bit cooler than the rest of the places. And so we're going straight into the questions that my panel does have. Who is ready with the burning question?
How can a person keep his relationship strong without any wavering things like?
Let me understand what you mean by strong.
Let me say like, so that, let's say your partner can, believe in you or not have any.
I think relationships are built on trust and openness.
Yes.
So to feed that, there has got to be proper and sufficient communication. The moment there is no communication, relationships begin to die. So there's got to be proper and sufficient communication. The openness, where somebody doesn't have a reason to doubt, either doubt you or doubt what you say. So there's got to be things like honesty. Somebody should be able to believe when you say, I was unwell, that's why I didn't call. They should be able to believe you are unwell and not think that you are using that as a line. So it all boils down to your openness, your integrity, your honesty. That keeps, it's a foundation for keeping a strong relationship.
Okay. And I have another question. Let's say, how can a person know that your partner is the right one that you should have, that you should build a relationship with someone? How does someone know that she's the right one like that?
Knowing the right partner, it's a question that keeps on coming. Knowing the right partner, there are certain things that you've got to share. One of those has got to be your mission in life. They must be able to, that's compatibility. There should be people who would share in your mission in life, in what you want to do. And they should also share in your values in life. For example, if you believe in honesty and somebody is dishonest, it's not going to work. If you believe in openness and they don't believe in that, it's just not going to work. So the person that comes in will mostly be defined, one, by your mission in life, your goals, where you're trying to go, and then also by your values, the things that you hold dear. When you share those ones, there is what is called compatibility.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Pauline. My question is on long-distance relationships. How do you go about it? For instance, if I'm here and dating someone who is in a distant country or in a distant town, How do you go about it on terms of communication?
The first thing I've got to say about long distance relationship is they're a challenge. They're quite a challenge because the person is not within the space that you are in. So it takes greater commitment to keep a long distance relationship than when somebody is just around. Why? Because you're surrounded by different kinds of people, and sometimes not necessarily that you're dating somebody else, but sometimes you can be caught up in the friends who are around you that you forget to relate with the person that you're supposed to be relating with. So that means that you've got to really commit yourself to that communication. It might mean you schedule times of communication. It might mean that you agree that I'll be calling you or talking to you, chatting with you 9 p.m. every night. Sometimes now you've got to do things in a very structured way, because if you leave it to how you feel, you can easily get distracted. So it takes a lot of commitment and discipline. It also takes commitment to the relationship, not just to the person, to the relationship where you want it to work. So you have to say no to people around, because if you're here in Riara and you're relating with somebody who's very far, so people never see you going out with somebody, the thought that they have is that you're available. And sometimes you're even having a rough time with the person you're relating with, and then here comes somebody else who's treating you very well around college. You have got to remember that you're in a relationship and you are committed to that relationship enough to tell this person no. So it takes higher level of commitment to keep a long distance relationship, but it is possible. So the relationship needs consistent communication.
On the relationships, when most of them start, like almost all of them, there's usually that flare, that the connection is usually stronger as it starts. Now, as time goes by, I see you almost not feel each other. Now, I see, what do you do on such a case?
Initially, when you start, the emotions are high. It's exciting because it's new. It's exciting because you're just getting to discover the person. Sometimes what happens is that when people have known each other, they take each other for granted. Or some people are just naturally adventurous, so they get bored very quickly. Their concentration span is very short, so they get bored very quickly. So once they know somebody, they feel it's no longer exciting. For whatever reason that it is, you always have got to reignite the passion that there was there before. One, you've got to remember that you're already committed to this person. You'll hear me use that word so many times today. You're already committed to this person. So there will be high seasons, there'll be low seasons, but you're going to stay at it because you gave your word to this person. You always have got to find out, why are you even in that dry season? Is it something somebody did? Is it something they said? Is it just you? Is it you are seeing somebody else looking very interesting on the outside? Because even when you get to the other person who looks interesting, you're still going to go into the same phase. If you have got the nature that gets bored quickly, it doesn't really matter who you're relating with. So you might as well then decide to commit to one relationship and work it through and move past the emotions to the place where you know, this is a commitment that I've made. In fact, there is no relationship that stays on a high for long. It's got to be, you've got to keep on looking for the positives in the person and concentrating on them. You can decide to be looking at the negatives and you feel like, I thought I had a good deal, but now this is a raw deal. It may be because you're disappointed in one or two traits or three, but you could as well choose to focus on the strengths of the person and work on them. If whatever look like their failures don't threaten the relationship, then you're not going to get anybody who's perfect, so you might as well just work with the one that you have.
My question is, after a breakup, how do you get over a breakup, basically? What are the best things to do to finally get over someone?
Okay, one of the basic rules of a breakup is that it needs to be very precise that there has been a breakup, so that you're not having mixed signals you're not giving mixed signals to the person you've broken up with. If you have made up your mind that you're breaking up, it needs to be clean and clear to them that you have broken up. And then you need to stay apart from each other for a while. The reason being, even as you say we have broken up, your heart was still committed to that person. no matter who hurt the other person, even if they made you angry. The only reason you're angry is because you had invested your heart and your emotions to them. So you do not want at that point to get confused about what your mind is telling you, which is breakup, and what your heart is telling you, which is I still have feelings for this person. So to bring your heart to the place of your mind, then you may need to separate your heart from that person for a while. And then just have it in your mind now that everything is redefined. It means that communication will have to be reduced or even just cut. Not forever, but for a period, so that you reestablish a different way of relating if you ever want to relate again, maybe as friends or just colleagues or students in the same class. So you are reestablishing a new way to relate. That means you've got to really just stop how you're relating before. When people try to do the things of break up today and then hang out tomorrow, it brings complications. It will be easy while you're still alone until somebody else is coming into your life. Then you will realize that as much as you said, let's remain friends, the other person still felt like they owned the territory. So just make it clear. And if you cannot enforce that by yourself, you probably need somebody else who's helping you walk through that. So you're not becoming enemies, but you're just making it become final. Like, we're out of this, we can relate in the future in a different way. The shortest time you should give in that separation period should be about 5 to 6 months, so that you really get out of it. You try to start hanging out after 2 weeks, you're not getting out. Somehow they'll just tie you. There's a way that even people who are in prison, they get attached to their captors.
Is it wrong to have a lot of expectations when you're entering into a relationship?
It is not wrong to have a lot of expectation. I think that we all go into relationships with expectations, but there are those expectations that you have to manage. You just have to make sure that your expectations are not unrealistic. You do not expect somebody to be perfect or flawless. To expect that is to be unrealistic, however hard they try. You don't expect them to know everything or have everything together. You don't expect them not to have a bad day. You don't expect them not to get upset over some things sometimes. So if you expect that, that's unrealistic. But it's okay for you to have high expectations in a relationship. And you may not find somebody who meets those high expectations, but if they meet most of them, that's a good thing. Because a relationship is, you want to invest. You're investing your heart, not necessarily money. You're investing your heart, so you're expecting returns. You're expecting somebody to treat you well, to respect you. You're expecting them to be committed to you. You're expecting them to make you feel better. You're expecting them to be there for you when you need somebody to be there for you. So those are valid expectations. Just make sure they're not unrealistic.
Is there something like being in love too much? Like you over-depend on someone, you can't go a day without talking to someone. They just revolve around everything that you do. Is there something like that? And how do you go about it?
It is, yes, there are people who are emotionally needy, very needy. It's possible. And it's a dangerous place to be, because your life then depends on their decisions and their treatment of you. It has to do with how you view yourself, your self-esteem, your security, personal security. So if you're not secure, you might begin to lean on the other person too much. Why? Because you're afraid of rejection, or you have suffered rejection most of your life, and then you get somebody who has accepted you, then you begin to become very clingy on that person. There is a possibility on that. There is also the possibility of just having known that people always give you whatever you want. They're manipulative people also. So sometimes they use that just to wrap people around them. Sometimes it's somebody just wanting so much attention. It's a dangerous place to be, because you easily would get heartbroken. Also, the other person relating with you will never really be in a fulfilled relationship, because they have to keep on doing too much just to make you feel you're okay, you're the one they want to be with. And somebody doesn't have to keep on proving themselves to you when they're in a relationship. When you get into a relationship with somebody, it should be based on trust, so that if we are committed to one another, unless there is a reason for that trust to be broken, you should be secure in the fact that I'm relating with you. If I have to prove myself every day, I will get worn out and I will get tired. So we will not be relating. I will be trying to prove myself every time. So there is the possibility of being needy, but it's a dangerous place to be.
I'd like to ask, is it wrong to be insecure when you're in a relationship?
Well, insecurity is a negative emotion in a relationship because it makes you put the other person on the spot a lot. There is jealousy. Jealousy is natural. It's natural to feel jealous over somebody that you're relating with. That just means that you want them for yourself. And there is a heavy dose, there's a healthy dose to that, where you want the person, you want the man or the lady for yourself. But then again, when you try to cut them off from everybody else, that's not safe, or rather it's not healthy. Because whoever you relate with, human beings are social and they're communal. So you will not be the only lady that they talk to. As long as there is nothing that is interfering with your relationship, you should rest assured about that. Unless there is somebody interfering or he's seeing somebody else, or if she's seeing somebody else. But the thing of, having to go trying to check out the phone, who are you talking to? Why did you stand with that girl for 2 minutes? Why did you hug that person like that? That's just crazy. That will not work. So insecurity is not healthy. Jealousy is natural.
What about suspicion?
Pardon?
Suspicion.
Suspicion, you never build anything based on suspicion. If there is an issue, you address it. If there is an issue, you address it. Because you don't want to relate with somebody for 5 years, 6 years, probably even get married to them, and you're always worried when they're not with you. It's not even good for your own health. Emotionally, you'll be destabilized. Mentally, you will be very frustrated. You don't want to go that direction. So if it is somebody that you do not trust or you don't believe, then probably you don't even want to go that direction, because you will not be checking out every time. Where are you? Who are you with? Who did you talk to? Why do you have a spot on your shirt or something? And he tries to say, this is ink. And you say, no, let me see. What cologne is that is on you? And you say, that's not cologne. It's just a terrible life to live, So you don't want to do that. A good relationship must be built on trust. It has got to be built on trust. But whenever there is an issue like the trust has been broken, or probably it's about to be broken, you raise the issue, deal with the issue, and then move on.
Based on her question, I'll just twist it a little bit. What if it's in your place, like you have so much to do in school, you don't have the time, and he's expecting too much from you while you can?
When somebody else is expecting too much from you, you see, relationship is a place there has got to be mutual agreement. Both of you want to be in the relationship, and both of you want to give into the relationship. When somebody expects more than you feel that you can give, you need to let them know that you can't give that at that particular point. So that then they either work around their expectations or you make a decision based on the situation at that particular point. Like you're at a certain stage in life where you're concentrating, for example, like you're concentrating on your studies, and somebody expects more than you can give at this stage, then it may mean that either you're taking a break on the relationship, or they're reducing their expectations, or if they cannot handle that, then probably the relationship won't work. Because you